Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the story that changed the world. The Second World War has raged for 6 brutal years. In Europe, Nazi Germany has surrendered. But in the Pacific, the fighting continues. 8 years earlier, in 1937, Japan launched its invasion of China. Since then, the Pacific has been drenched in blood. Cities have been burned. Tens of millions have died. Yet Japan still refuses to lay down its arms. By the summer of 1945, Japan's empire has been battered back. Its navy lies at the bottom of the sea. Its air force crippled, its cities pounded to rubble. But the Japanese military shows no sign of surrender. At Iwo Jima and Okinawa, Japanese troops fought to the last man, inflicting horrific casualties. Over 77,000 Allied dead and wounded at Okinawa alone. Kamikaze pilots hurled themselves into Allied ships. Even as defeat looms, Japan's leaders prepare their people for one final battle. The Allies plan to invade Japan itself. Operation Downfall. Casualty estimates are staggering. Hundreds of thousands of Allied dead, perhaps 1 million or more Japanese soldiers, and millions of civilians. In Washington, newly sworn-in President Harry Truman searches for another way to end the war. The United States may already have it. The Manhattan Project. You see, in 1942, a top-secret program began in New York City, the Manhattan Engineer District. Its mission to unlock the power of the atom. Under General Leslie Groves and scientist J. Robert Oppenheimer, the Manhattan Project would grow into the largest scientific endeavor in history. More than 600,000 people, scientists, soldiers, engineers, and workers, toiled in absolute secrecy, scattered across America, Canada, and Britain. For years, they worked feverishly, racing against the Nazis to build a weapon of unimaginable power. On July 16, 1945, in the desert of New Mexico, their efforts bore fruit. The first atomic bomb tested under the codename Trinity exploded in a blinding flash. A new age had begun. A few weeks later, the Allies issued the Potsdam Declaration demanding Japan's unconditional surrender. The message was blunt. Surrender now or face prompt and utter destruction. Japan ignored it. Truman gave the order. Mission Hiroshima. At 2:45 a.m., August 6, 1945, 3 B-29 Superfortresses roar off the runway on Tinian Island in the Pacific. Their destination, Japan. Leading the mission is Colonel Paul Tibbets at the controls of a silver bomber he named after his mother, the Enola Gay. Inside its bomb bay rests a weapon unlike any used before. Over 10 feet long, 9,000 pounds. Powered by uranium-235, its codename, Little Boy. 2 other aircraft fly alongside. The great artiste carrying instruments to measure the blast. And necessary evil tasked with observing and photographing what's about to happen. As dawn breaks, weather planes scout the chosen targets. The primary city is Hiroshima, home to 350,000 people, and headquarters of the Japanese Second Army. With its military depots, factories, and troops, Hiroshima is a key target. Its flat terrain, planners believe, will magnify the bomb's destructive power. At 7:15 a.m., aboard the Enola Gay, the bomb is armed. Green safety plugs are replaced with red. Little Boy is ready. Lieutenant Morris Jepson reports. The crew climbs to 31,000 feet. Below them, Hiroshima wakes to a bright summer morning. Workers board crowded trams, children hurry to school. Farmers set out for the fields. Earlier that morning, an air raid warning sounded, but was lifted quickly when only a few American planes were seen overhead. Many assume the danger has passed. It has not. At 8:09 a.m., the weather plane straight flush radios back. Cloud cover less than 3/10. Advice: bomb primary. Colonel Tibbets gives the word. It's Hiroshima. Little boy. At 8:15 a.m., Bombardier Thomas Farabee takes control. Through his Norden bomb sight, he lines up the Oi Bridge, a distinctive T-shaped span in the heart of the city. "I've got it," he calls. Seconds later, bomb away. Little boy drops from the bay doors. It falls for 43 seconds. Inside the bomb, a uranium projectile hurtles down a barrel into a uranium target, triggering a chain reaction. At 1,968 feet above the ground, Hiroshima becomes the first city in history to be struck by an atomic weapon. A blinding flash, a fireball 900 feet wide, hotter than the surface of the sun. Air ignites into plasma. Roof tiles liquefy. Granite stones crumble. People vanish instantly, their shadows burned into the walls behind them. The shockwave slams outward at nearly 1,000 miles per hour. Tens of thousands of buildings are flattened in seconds. Fires erupt everywhere, merging into a raging firestorm. In the first instant, 80,000 people are dead. Aboard the Enola Gay, tail gunner George Caron watches in awe and horror. A column of smoke rising fast with a fiery red core, he later recalls. A bubbling mass, purple and gray. Like a peep into hell. The plane is rocked by two massive shockwaves, but continues safely home. Mission complete. On the ground, Hiroshima is a city of screams and silence. Survivors stumble through the ruins, their clothes burned away, their skin hanging in strips. The rivers fill with the dead and dying, desperate to cool their burns. In hours, Hiroshima ceases to exist as it had that morning. Between the blasts, news of the weapon reaches Washington. President Truman announces to the world that America has unleashed a rain of ruin from the air, the like of which has never been seen on this earth. He warns Japan, surrender or face more. But in Tokyo, the Japanese government hesitates. Some ministers argue for peace. Others demand continued resistance. On August 8th, another shock arrives. The Soviet Union declares war, invading Japanese-occupied Manchuria with overwhelming force. Still, the debate rages. Mission: Nagasaki. At 3:47 a.m. on August 9th, another B-29 takes off from Tinian. This one, piloted by Major Charles Sweeney, is named Boxcar. Its cargo is a second atomic bomb. This one, a plutonium implosion device, more powerful than the first. Codename: Fat Man. The mission does not go smoothly. A fuel pump malfunctions, limiting range. Over Kokura, the primary target, heavy smoke and clouds obscure the aim point. 3 bombing runs fail. Time is running out. Enemy fighters are closing in. Sweeney makes a fateful decision: divert to the secondary target, Nagasaki. At 11:02 a.m., Bombardier Kermit Behone finds a brief break in the clouds. He releases Fat Man. The bomb detonates over a valley. The hills blunt the full destruction, but the result is still apocalyptic. A blinding flash, a thunderous roar. Entire neighborhoods vanish. 40,000 people die instantly. The end? With Hiroshima in ruins, Nagasaki burning, and the Soviets invading, Japan's leaders face the unthinkable. On August 15th, Emperor Hirohito addresses his people directly, the first time they have ever heard his voice. He tells them to accept surrender, to endure the unendurable. World War II is over. Legacy. By the war's end, over 200,000 people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki are dead, most of them civilians. Tens of thousands more suffer burns, radiation sickness, and the agony of slow deaths. Survivors, the hibakusha, will carry the scars for life. The atomic bombings ended the deadliest conflict in history. But they also opened the nuclear age, forever changing humanity's relationship with war, with science, and with itself. To this day, the decision to use those bombs is debated. Necessity or atrocity, salvation or crime. But one thing is certain. On those August mornings in 1945, the world changed forever. Thanks so much for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think or what topics you'd like to see next. Also remember, sip and subscribe. The button is down there, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on new content. Stay awesome, stay hydrated, and I'll catch you in the next one.